The news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Friday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And a lot of folks wondering how our Friday and weekend are going to shape up, and this morning at least it's nice and warm.
Yeah, nice and warm right now, and so far it's rather quiet. Some sunshine outside, at least early twilight. A look at those temperatures. Again, it's a warm start. It's I would say humid start. We're in the 60s right now, and 50s in parts of the southern valleys, 49 the temperature up in the north country. And you can see here humid conditions, 59 in Rome with that dew point, meaning it's the humidity levels are near humid to very humid categories. Oneonta, a live view outside right now. Again, there is some clearing. You can see the early twilight out in the distance as the morning sun gets earlier and earlier. Now, the radar, yes, there's some noise in the radar scans, but I'm showing this version of it, the increased, what's it called? Losing my train of thought here. The increased views of the details here, because we zoom out a little bit and look at this line of thunderstorms we have approaching Buffalo right now. And we are expecting these to weaken before they reach our area. However, this is quite a lightning show. This is hundreds and hundreds of lightning strikes hitting Buffalo right now. So we'll keep a close eye on this. We are tracking thunderstorms this afternoon. Well, a couple of them. We'll have the details on that, plus what you can expect heading into the weekend in that full forecast. Gary?
One scary looking storm out there.
Oh, yeah. Maybe, hopefully it's a lot of bark and no bite. We'll look at that even more.
Let's hope. Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast, never more than 10 minutes away. Well, almost
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back, everyone. Happy Friday. The week has just flown by already, and we're now entering the final stretch of May over the next couple of weeks. Either way, a look outside as you head out to work this morning. Overall, pretty quiet. I think I just saw maybe a spider crawling on the Oneonta camera on the corner of my eye. I'll see where that is going. But either way, it's mainly clear out there. We've got some clouds approaching from the west, and in the Mohawk Valley, in southern valleys, there are some very isolated instances of patchy fog, but again, most of our area waking up to clear skies. The traffic tracker picking up green across the board, no rain. Again, fog is not widespread, but either way, the radar looking quiet. We're going to closely watch what's happening out in western New York right now. Over 700 lightning strikes in this zone right here. Did the counting moments ago, and this is going to move its way east. It is expected to weaken, but knowing Mother Nature, sometimes it has a few tricks up her sleeve. So we'll watch how this behaves. If this becomes more of an issue, we might break into programming later on this morning, or we'll of course post on social media or if whatnot. But if not, then things will be okay. But still, today temperatures will be in the 60s and 50s this morning after a dry start. If those showers weaken, our next round of thunderstorms will be in the late afternoon and early evening. We'll track those, plus the potential for even more storms tomorrow in that full forecast. Gary?
let's hope the folks over in Buffalo are okay this morning. That looks pretty intense.
Yeah, it looks like a lot. Big lightning show.
Yeah, Eric, thank you. The Supreme Court is hearing oral.
The Oneonta Cam is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, guys. On this Friday, today we are tracking some thunderstorms to roll through this late afternoon to early evening, as well as the potential for more storms tomorrow. Overall, pretty active next few days. But let's start out by taking a live look in Utica, downtown. Temperatures in the 60s, and it's already a pretty sunny start to the day today. Muggy start as well, similar to yesterday. Dew point upper 50s right now. The radar here locally is dry, but again, we're keeping a close eye on this line of thunderstorms impacting the Toronto and Buffalo metropolitan areas early this morning. Again, along this line here, probably at this point, nearly 800 lightning strikes in the span of a half hour. So this is a pretty intense lightning show out in western New York. They are expected to weaken as it moves east, but again, we'll keep a close eye on it. Still, today, a level 1 out of 5 risk. You can see the color scale here for severe storms in our area. Main concern being slow-moving thunderstorms producing some heavier downpours. Tomorrow, a slightly higher risk here, with level 2 out of 5. And we'll actually break this down here a little more locally. But first, I want to give you guys a heads up of what is a severe or strong storm. Because you see a thunderstorm, what's the difference when you encounter it with severe or not? More than 58 miles per hour with the winds and greater than quarter-size hail. There's also more categories here. We got considerable, which has a different color tag to it. You don't really see it too often unless you see it on the maps here. We have a slightly darker orange. And then destructive, which we rarely see here in central New York. Those are mainly toward the Midwest. Either way, today, main concern, some slow-moving thunderstorms producing some heavier downpours that could cause flooding in poor drainage areas. Still some gusty winds possible, but that's not the biggest concern. Tomorrow, the biggest concern would be those strong winds as well as slow-moving thunderstorms. Again, we're on the fringe of it. This is not a slam dunk scenario, but with the possibility there, again, we'd rather let you guys know of the possibility than just not talk about it at all. You can see here, our model is showing a lot of these storms fizzling out, some of them tapping into that instability. It also depends on if they eventually tap in to the Cape or the atmosphere, or again, that added instability. Then tomorrow, a few rain showers in the morning, still sunshine in the afternoon, but then some scattered thunderstorms in the evening. Those are the ones we're monitoring. Sunday, cooler, cloudier, damp, and rainy with some passing rain showers in the afternoon, but no severe risk expected for Sunday. But you can see that difference, 75 Saturday to 57 Sunday. And then we cool down a little bit for Monday and Tuesday next week. It dries up, but still 54 the high. Much of the day will be in the upper 40s and low 50s. Tuesday a little warmer, then rain showers and cool weather expected for next week.
Yeah, watch out for that line.
Yeah, so we'll keep a close eye on it, but yeah, producing a lot of lightning out there.
Yeah. Eric, thanks the town again, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Libitor, and if you were with us a short time ago, you noted that heavy lightning strikes out west. Meteorologist Eric Gage is tracking that for us right now, and Eric, that looks pretty darn severe.
Yes, a lot of lightning. It's a heavy rainfall out in the Buffalo area. In fact, now the icon, or at least the weather report, is showing the storms reaching Buffalo on our temperature and condition map right now. The rest of the state is quiet. In fact, here locally, it's clear. Temperatures in the 60s with mild conditions. In fact, sunshine for a lot of us. Some spots, though, starting to see fog form in primarily the southern valleys. Either way, though, as we look at the radar, there's a lot of interference right now here locally, but we zoom out and I want to showcase, yes, that line right there. As a matter of fact, I'm actually going to scan this here with our lightning tracker. I'm going to scan pretty much the entire line for Buffalo down to Pennsylvania. And I'll move this icon here for you right here so you can see it. The total number of strikes here, 814. And there's positive, negative strikes. It depends on where the bolt comes from. Either way, still, the total is approaching near 800. So still, today, passing downpours with thunder and lightning this afternoon, primarily between the late afternoon and early evening. Still, though, we're going to track the potential for one or two of them to produce some flooding concerns, or on top of that, a better shot for stronger storms tomorrow. All that and more in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks, and don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. Wrapping up
by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli.
The Oneonta Camp is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss.
Happy Friday, guys. Today we begin with a warm and muggy start, similar to yesterday, but with a lot more sunshine out there compared to clouds. Temperatures you can see here, 61 Whitesboro and Westmoreland, 56 Otter Lake, 58 in Earlville, and 56 degrees down in Cooperstown. And we'll expect those temperatures to climb to near 80 today, but also we have the risk of some thunderstorms along with it. We also have sunshine too, so one of those days when we enter the summer-like conditions of sunshine with sudden downpours and thunderstorms. Either way, it is going to be a pretty nice morning. We'll see how the rain showers out west behave over the next couple of hours. Our photo of the day today takes us to Whitestown. I think one of the first times we have had a Whitestown submission. Either way, here's a shout out to Whitestown in the photo here of the Bleeding Hearts flowers. And these are flowers that are just overall pretty interesting, and I think the name was well justified. You think of a bleeding heart flower, you know exactly what you're talking about. So again, thank you for this photo submission. A lot of great flower submissions too. And if you have any spring photos you'd like to share with us, you can send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Madison Oneida Boces.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. We are tracking a dry start today with sunshine and muggy conditions. A look at downtown Utica, a live view outside, some blue skies out in the distance, temperature sitting at 61 degrees. And again, the key here, that humidity is still continuing to rise, expected to reach the low 60s with that dew point by this afternoon. Local conditions across the area on the Mesonet camera network, Pasco, as well as Morrisville and Lawrence, parts of the Southern Valley, Sherburne as well included in some of this, producing some patchy fog. So these are isolated instances. The rest of us that aren't witnessing that fog, dry conditions. But I want to zoom out a little bit because, again, there are some pretty intense lightning strikes in this line of thunderstorms out near Buffalo. It's now pretty much past the city. It is now going to enter the Finger Lakes region over the next couple of hours, and expected to weaken even more before it reaches our area by the mid-morning, roughly 9, 10, 11 a.m. Either way, what we are tracking is later on today. Level 1 out of 5 risk, as you can see here, for strong storms here in Utica and south. Tomorrow, a greater shot for a strong storm or two. And while we're on the topic of strong storms, we do want to add some clarification on what a garden variety thunderstorm is versus a severe thunderstorm. And with strong to severe thunderstorms, these are the categorizations: greater than 58 miles an hour winds and greater than quarter-size hail. There are a few more warnings that do come down: considerable severe thunderstorm warnings, and on top of that, destructive severe thunderstorm warnings. These are a lot less likely to happen in our area. In fact, I don't think the last time we've seen a destructive warning here locally. Still, with the risks today, biggest concern, slow-moving storms producing flooding potential in poor drainage areas. So that's the main focus today. Still the typical risks with strong storms. We'll closely monitor that. Tomorrow, you can see here, a lot more level 2 out of 5 risk in that yellow zone there. Biggest concern, again, slow-moving storms and some stronger winds. And when it comes to these storms, it's not a slam dunk potential. There have been days before where we were saying that the risk is very high. Today, well, if these showers don't tap into that instability, well, it pretty much will fizzle out pretty quickly. So tomorrow, after a rainy start, sunshine in the afternoon, some of those thunderstorms in the evening. Again, hopefully they weaken beforehand and we don't see that severe weather. Either way, Sunday, a bit different. Cloudy, damp, cool, with some on and off rain showers. So you can see quite the difference for the 2 weekend days. Of course, following that, we're going to say goodbye to summer-like weather for at least the short to medium range. We've got 50s and 60s Monday and Tuesday, and then rain chances Wednesday and Thursday. So, but at least we got more sunshine following the weekend. Maybe if that only moved a few days earlier to get sunshine both days, but we'll take what we get.
That's for sure. Eric, thanks. Rome Health is on the receiving end of a generous grant from
The news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this Friday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And boy, that radar looks scary over near Buffalo right now.
Yes, and I think for the most part, it appears it's a lot of bark, maybe a little bit of bite, but mainly the lightning show is the big story. We'll show that in a second. First, as you head out this morning, you actually won't be experiencing some thunderstorms, at least early today. You got sunshine to start your day, 60s. And it's in the 50s in parts of the southern valleys, patchy fog forming. You can see that fog reported in Hamilton early today, as well as up in Saranac Lake. But again, the icon out in Buffalo showing thunderstorms. The only spot here in Central New York witnessing it right now. A great shot of the morning sun in Oneonta with some fog again out in the distance here, trying its best to form. And again, the radar, it's dry, it's quiet here locally. We zoom out. Here is that band moving through the region. And the lightning strikes here, we counted it earlier, 700, 800 lightning strikes in the span of 30 minutes. This is producing a whole lot of lightning. Now, it is expected to weaken as it moves its way east, but this will probably reach the Syracuse area by, say, 8:30, 9 a.m., 10 o'clock here in the Mohawk Valley. And what will be left of it maybe is a few downpours, maybe a rumble of thunder, but at least for now, we're expecting that to weaken tremendously. Either way, we'll keep a close eye on it. If things don't behave accordingly, we'll, of course, let you know. But this afternoon, temperatures in the 70s. We are tracking the potential for scattered thunderstorms. These could have some pretty heavy downpours in them. We're looking at that, plus the severe weather risk heading into the weekend in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. Almost.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Time now is 6:12 on this Friday morning. We are tracking a relatively dry start here in the Mohawk Valley. Some fog in, say, Oneonta and some parts of the Mohawk Valley and Southern Valleys today, but other than that, still sunshine reported in Utica and some surrounding areas either way. The traffic tracker is green across the board. No incidents to report of this morning. And as you look at the radar, again, it's dry here locally. We zoom out. We're keeping that close eye on that line of thunderstorms, which appears to have really lost the strength. A lot of those lightning bolts not nearly as intense as earlier. Still a few flashes popping up here and there, but as expected, these storms are weakening, and by the time it reaches us, maybe it's fizzle out, a few lingering rain showers, but again, quite the lightning show out in western New York early this morning. And so today, temperatures begin in the 50s and 60s, a dry start to your day. Maybe watch out for some patchy fog, but this afternoon, we're tracking the potential for some scattered thunderstorms. Some of these could be on the stronger side. We're going to break down what we see today and tomorrow and the difference between a severe thunderstorm and a normal thunderstorm in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The Supreme Court is hearing oral.
Did you dispute ticket yet?
Don't let the weather spoil your day. Watch for the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast and be ready for your drive to and from work. The Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast is brought to you by the Pratt Munson College of Art and Design. Visit Pratt Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity.
Omni, cutting-edge surgery without the cutting.
The Oneonta Cam is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Happy Friday, guys. We are tracking a warm and muggy start to your day today, but the difference compared to yesterday, there's more sun shining in the sky right now. A look outside in Utica, a live view. We've got that blue out in the distance, and it's a pretty pleasant start to your day today. However, today is one of those days you want to remain weather aware. Same thing for tomorrow. We'll explain those reasonings coming up in a second. But again, today, muggy start, dew point of 59, temperature is 61, but still the sun is shining. A look across central New York on the Mesonet camera network. Some spots seeing plenty of sun, for example, Morrisville, Sherburne moments ago, but also Lawrence earlier, Springfield currently. seeing some fog. So just a heads up this morning that it's not entirely sunny. However, as we head throughout the morning, we'll see a few more clouds arrive from the west. The result is from this approaching frontal system. Massive amounts of heavy rain and lightning here in the Buffalo area. So far, I don't see any reports or icons indicating of wind damage reports, but I think this is a very strong lightning show, if anything. It is expected to weaken as it moves its way east, but we'll keep a close eye on how this behaves moving forward. Still, though, later on in the day today, in the late afternoon, early evening, there's potential for some storms to turn on the stronger side. Level 1 out of 5 risk for areas in Utica and south, and a level 2 out of 5 risk for Saturday. Well, let's zoom in here. First off, to recap what a severe storm is compared to a garden variety thunderstorm. We've mentioned the two terms before. Garden variety is a thunderstorm with lightning, maybe some strong winds, but 58 miles an hour and above is considered a severe thunderstorm or quarter-size hail. You get in different categories. You've got considerable thunderstorms, which we have had before, and the much more rare destructive thunderstorms, which we really haven't seen here in central New York. Either way, today, here's the line of that risk zone. Now, again, that's not a, don't treat this verbatim, this still could move north or south, but overall the biggest concern, slow-moving storms producing some heavier rains, potential for flooding there. Tomorrow, the bigger concern being, of course, those slow-moving storms, as well as some stronger wind gusts. But we time out here in the Skycast. This is not a slam dunk of a severe weather setup. That's why we're not in alert mode right now. But still, we have the potential for these storms here to tap into instability and fire up. They could just produce downpours, and that's that. Same thing for Saturday. Scattered downpours, sunshine in the afternoon, and then some thunderstorms in the evening, and they could weaken, and we could luck out. But by Sunday, a different weather story. 50s, it's damp, it's cool, it's rainy. And it's a little bit of a different story. So enjoy the sunshine in the brief intervals we have it on Saturday before the storms roll through in the evening. We have a better shot for sunshine without severe weather Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures a little cooler, though. And we'll set that cool stage moving forward for much of next week.
Another rainy weekend.
Yeah, well, we have some pockets of sunshine. Could be nicer, but could be worse.
Yeah. Eric, thanks. The town of Boone, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Libitor. Happy Friday to you. Meteorologist Eric Gage is tracking our Friday forecast over in the Weather Center. And Eric, it's starting out warm here, but you're tracking some storms to our west. Yeah, that's right. In fact, here's a look at the radar scans right now. It passed through Buffalo. Lots of lightning as it's heading toward Rochester. Here locally, though, it's dry as we take a look at the local radar here in just a second here. And what we're looking at here is quiet conditions. We zoom out. Here's that line of thunderstorms, and there's a lot of lightning here, hundreds and hundreds of lightning strikes, but it's more of a bark and little bite type of storm. There's only one severe thunderstorm warning here, and that looks to expire. So one of these instances where it's a big lightning show, very loud thunderstorms, but realistically not a whole lot of damage along with it too. These are expected to weaken as they move their way east, but again, we'll keep a close eye on them, and if they still produce thunder and lightning when they reach our area roughly between 10, 9-ish, 9:30. But for now though, sunshine in the Mohawk Valley, temperatures in the 60s. Some locations seeing some fog. There's a report of some fog there in Oneonta early today. But again, the next 12 hours, we begin with sunshine. It turns to increasing clouds and the potential for a thunderstorm or two this afternoon. Some of these storms could be on the stronger side. However, it's not a slam dunk forecast. We'll break down the chances for that, plus the chance for even stronger storms tomorrow in that full forecast. Gary? Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. Wrapping up.
One question for you. Did you get your ticket yet?
The Oneonta Camp is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss.
Wow, beautiful shot right there. We're taking a look at the temperatures this morning as you head out the door. It's another mild start. We're in the 60s and 50s across pretty much a lot of the area. It's dry as well. and it's sunny compared to yesterday's cloudy start. And we'll see these temperatures climb to near 80 this afternoon, with dry conditions turning to more unsettled weather. The potential for some scattered thunderstorms this afternoon. So make sure you're weather aware. You can download that Storm Tracker 2 app below me. So if you're out and about, if you work outside, or if you're just having fun outside, playing golf or whatnot, this app is important because it'll send you notifications of nearby downpours and lightning strikes. So if you're, for example, out on the course, beneficial for you to make sure you get into some cover quickly. So our photo of the day today takes us to Whitestown. Shout out to a place I don't think we've received too many submissions from. And this is, of course, from showcasing Bleeding Hearts flowers. Great shot of these flowers here. And I've been enjoying all the flower submissions you have all been submitting us. And of course, if you have your own photo you'd like to share with us, you can send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Madison Oneida Bosse's student.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Happy Friday, guys. The sun is shining. It's a warm start. Humidity on the rise. It's overall a nicer morning compared to yesterday with the lack of clouds. A look outside in downtown Utica right now. Again, it's a 61-degree start to your day today with sunny skies and higher levels of humidity, muggy category, and this is expected to reach the humid category this afternoon. And again, much of the area seeing sunshine. However, some pockets of fog that early this morning will fade away as we head throughout the day today. Radar is dry here locally. We look out to the west where we are tracking this line of approaching thunderstorms. This is expected to weaken, but between, say, 9-10 a.m. this morning, you might encounter a brief rain shower, maybe some rumbles of thunder. But again, this is not expected to produce severe weather here locally early today. Our focus is on what happens later on this afternoon into the early part of this evening. Level 1 out of 5 risk for much of the southern half of New York State today, and a yellow zone, level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather heading into tomorrow. And while we're on the topic of severe weather, a recap. What is the difference between a severe thunderstorm and a normal thunderstorm? Well, the difference is the wind speed and the potential for hail. A normal thunderstorm will have thunder and lightning. It'll have some wind gusts, but when those winds hit a certain threshold, they become damaging, approaching near 60 miles an hour, that's when the storm turns severe, as well as the potential for quarter-size hail. Then you go up a notch to considerable thunderstorm warnings. We have had these before. In fact, I think earlier this year we had one. Now, the destructive warnings we don't usually have here in central New York. They are more toward the severe weather belt in the U.S. But again, today, level 1 out of 5 risk. This is not a set line of where there's no storms expected north, but just a heads up that there's potential for storms this afternoon. The biggest concern is flooding from poor drainage areas with the slow-moving nature of these storms today. Tomorrow, a slightly higher risk, and that's increased in the amount of rainfall inside some of these storms, as well as some stronger wind gusts. But as I mentioned previously, this is not a slam dunk forecast. We've had instances before where the alarms are going off, where it's a very concerning setup. Today, it's not really a concerning setup, but the potential is there for some of these storms to turn strong. So we figure we let you know ahead of time versus just not talk about it at all, because it's not what we do here. Still, though, some showers tomorrow morning, turning to sunshine by tomorrow afternoon, temperatures in the 70s. And then here comes the secondary round of thunderstorms by Saturday evening. And these, again, could tap into instability and produce some stronger wind gusts. Sunday, different story. Clouds, on and off rain, cooler, damp. It's a bit of a 180 when it comes to conditions for the weekend. So again, Saturday, some peaks of sunshine. Keep a close eye out for some afternoon storms, and then rain showers and cool weather Sunday. Sunshine returns though Monday and Tuesday next week. A little cooler, but looking dry.
Have to get through this weekend. Hopefully it won't be too bad. Eric, thanks. We are now going to take you live.
News with Gary Lipitor.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Lipitor.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And you mentioned the radar's quiet, but there is the potential.
Yes, this afternoon we'll see the potential for a few storms to fire up. The atmosphere a little unstable, a little bit humid out. That's one thing as well. In fact, a look at the current conditions outside right now, a lot of folks out and enjoying what will be sunny skies for the most part for the midday today. So I know we're mentioning storm potential, but when there's afternoon storms, it doesn't mean we're under thunder and lightning for the entire day. In fact, it's rather quiet across the board. Now, a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Some late morning thunderstorms have rolled through parts of the area. They have since fizzled out, and now the radar is quiet. We zoom out. Still, not a drop of rain here, but we're going to closely watch if any of these very small cells begin to fire up over the next couple of hours. The rough timing of it this afternoon will be between 5 and 8 p.m. And again, these storms will not be organized. They'll be sporadic and pop up randomly. Still, though, it's a very warm afternoon. 75 degrees out there right now. One of the warmest temperatures across the state so far. In fact, it's 78 up at Saranac Lake, but something else to mention, too. Dew points in the 60s right now. You factor in that dew point scale, we're in the muggy to almost humid category out there right now. So again, today, highs approaching near 80. Some scattered thunderstorms this afternoon. Make sure you have the Storm Tracker 2 app handy for any of you who are outside and want to wonder about when storms could arrive. Either way, great tool to have. But again, we are tracking the potential for rain showers to continue this weekend. The details coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Another corrections officer in.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Hazy and humid out there today. Now, we're missing the hot part of it. I would say warm. It's in the mid-70s. Some of you might call it really hot, but when the hazy, hot, and humid days arrive in midsummer, you might think of this day as a bit of a cool breeze. Either way, downtown Utica, live view outside, wispy clouds out in the distance. We've got a lot of humidity out there right now today, and that's what some of these storms this afternoon might tap into. Dew point of 63, about as humid as we've been so far this year. Temperature is 75 degrees. With a variable wind right now, and you can see, of course, across the area, wispy clouds, some overcast skies in parts of the southern valleys in Otsego County, but that'll gradually clear out as we head into the next hour or so. The radar is entirely dry right now, barring those rain showers exiting to the south, and we're in this period of quiet weather temporarily, but this is where we're keeping our close eye on the radar for now because, again, we're at a level 1 out of 5 risk for some storms to form today that could be on the stronger side. Again, it's not a alarms going off type of event. It's more so a let's just remain vigilant and keeping a close eye on the radar type of event. Down south is where things are a lot worse. You see the oranges and, or I should say browns and reds. Those are more severe. Tomorrow we have the potential for some stronger storms, but again, this doesn't appear to be a major event. Either way, while we're still entering severe weather season, just a heads up on what it means between a garden variety thunderstorm and a normal thunderstorm, or I should say a severe thunderstorm. You can see here, 58-mile-per-hour winds, the threshold. Anything above that gets warned as a severe thunderstorm warning and the alert gets sent to your phone. And or quarter-size hail. There are even greater warnings that get put out, considerable warnings, which I believe we have had this year, and destructive warnings, which are incredibly rare in our area. Still, anything above that threshold gets tagged as a severe thunderstorm. Garden variety thunderstorms could have some stronger winds, could have some heavy rain, thunder, hail, but when it comes to these types of storms, severe storms, they have much greater of a punch. So the biggest risk today are slow-moving storms producing some heavier downpours, maybe some stronger wind gusts, but the concern really isn't there. Tomorrow is a better shot for some heavier rain mixed in with some stronger wind gusts. Again, the typical severe weather risk, but for now, this doesn't appear to be a situation where everything is lining up perfect for a severe weather event. You have a lot of instability, but some of these storms might not tap into it. It's not the best conditions either way, but still, we head into Saturday, early morning rain and downpours, sunshine in the afternoon, similar to today, and then in the evening, we wrap the day up with some scattered showers and thunderstorms. And then into Sunday, a much different day for the weekend. We're in the 50s. It's damp, it's cool, it's cloudy, it's rainy, and that sets the stage for a cooler pattern. So following today and tomorrow, we'll see more of a 50s and 60s degree stretch and less of a summertime feel in the air. And then, of course, with those lower temperatures, the humidity won't be nearly as high. So a little bit of a refreshing relief after very warm days. So it's going to be a little bit cooler, but sunnier following the weekend.
About 30 degrees cooler.
Yes.
Eric, thanks. Now to the day's stretch of severe weather nationwide. Overnight, at least 9 reported tornadoes tore across the Midwest. That's where NBC's Maggie Vespa is with the details.
Hey there from Chicago. It was a chaotic scene inside open air Soldier Field behind me. Video on social media showing those severe storms that rolled through the Midwest overnight, clashing with Beyonce's Cowboy Carter show here in Chicago. She was supposed to take the stage at 7 right when the storms came through, and video shows fans, members of the Beehive, having to take shelter as intense winds, rain, again, roared through the Windy City. After several hours, eventually the show did go on. Queen Bee took her stage, and everyone Soldier Field said was safe. They said that was their goal throughout the evening. That being said, in other parts of the country, the destruction was intense. At least 9 reported tornadoes touching down, especially across Minnesota and Wisconsin. Crazy video out of Wisconsin shows kids on a school bus looking out the window, seeing what looks like a pretty clear funnel cloud touching down. We saw several homes and buildings destroyed, particularly in Dodge County, Wisconsin. So cleanup underway there. All of this with that severe heat holding strong in much of the South and parts of the Midwest, at least close to a dozen cities, I should say, breaking daily heat records yesterday, and that heat expected to maintain into the weekend, along with the possibility of more severe storms. Amid all of this, also a bright spot in Minnesota, with firefighters yesterday saying calming winds and just more resources showing up on site are allowing them to gain some ground against those rare wildfires that have been burning in the northern part of that state. They added they're just hoping for rain over the next couple of days so they can keep building on that progress. Maggie Vespa, NBC News, Chicago.
Coming up, Walmart makes a big announcement now, and Eric, you're still saying that we could see some storms today.
Yeah, later on in the day today, but for now, it's
nice.
Sunny out. A lot of folks out in Cooperstown enjoying the warm and sunny weather. In fact, the temperature in Cooperstown at 73 degrees, very warm out there today, but also very humid. We'll show that momentarily. The radar looking a little more quiet after some late morning showers and thunderstorms that passed through the region. The northern half of the radar, matter of fact, I'm going to do a quick time lapse so you can actually see what happened earlier this morning. We were tracking an approaching front. There it is, and it fizzled out as expected. Now, it was a little ominous out near Syracuse. We're wondering when it was going to fizzle out. There's still some thunderstorms down in the southern valleys, but up north, barely anything, if even a raindrop. So one of the unique perks of Mother Nature. You never know what she's going to throw right at you. Either way, it's quiet right now. We're now in the mode where we're keeping a close eye on the radar, watching for a few cells of storms to fire up here and there. And so it's a waiting game. Either way, it's sunny out, it's warm, it's humid. Dew points in the 60s, which, again, in the humid category, mid-60s. When you get to 70 or above, that's when you reach the tropical levels. Those that have visited Florida in the midsummer, and even here in the midsummer sometimes, that's the tropical category. Either way, highs near 80 today, scattered thunderstorms. This evening, we are tracking a pretty damp weekend, but there will be some dry weather here and there. We'll break down the timing of that, plus the impacts of weather in that full forecast. Gary?
And be careful if you're going to those graduations today.
Oh,
that's
true,
for sure.
yeah.
Eric, thanks.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. We are tracking sunshine and warm weather, along with some increased humidity as well. A live look at downtown Utica. Wispy clouds out in the distance at this point. And on top of that, those temperatures have climbed mid-70s already here in the Mohawk Valley. But right here, the dew point of 63 degrees. It is humid out there right now, 100%. And beyond that today, we've got one more humid day before things start to cool down. But still, it's sunny initially. You can see a lot of these spots here finally starting to clear out. But the radar, although it's quiet, we have to keep a close eye on it because we've got this approaching system from the west. You don't quite see anything activity-wise. It's dry for much of western New York, but once you start seeing a few of these small cells fire up, they have some instability to tap into. We got a level 1 out of 5 risk for this dark green zone here. Thankfully, we're not in the bullseye of this event, which is down near Cincinnati, that red zone there in Kentucky. That's where the biggest severe weather risk is today. But we're on the edge of it. The risk is low, but non-zero. Tomorrow, there's still a risk, slightly higher, but again, this is not an event where we are extremely concerned, but we'd rather mention it, the potential, than just ignore it. Either way, just a quick recap of the difference between a garden variety thunderstorm and a severe thunderstorm, or a warned severe thunderstorm warning. The winds and the hail are the main factors that drive it. Any winds over 58 miles an hour or quarter-size hail can trigger a severe thunderstorm warning. So we could have thunderstorms that drop small hail, that have some strong wind gusts, but if they don't reach that threshold, it's usually not damaging or not severe. Either way, we do have other warnings too, considerable, which is rare but still possible, and extremely rare destructive warnings, which we haven't quite seen here in central New York. Either way, the risk zone is right here. Today, the biggest concern is ponding from heavier rainfall. These storms are slow moving if they do form, and there's plenty of moisture in the atmosphere to tap into. Tomorrow, slightly stronger here. Still heavier rain showers and some stronger winds, typical other ingredients that could be present for some severe weather. Either way, this is not a slam dunk type of event here. We're not sounding the alarms. This is not anything that's terribly concerning, but still the risk is there, so we figure we'd mention it. Following this evening, once those downpours and thunderstorms end tomorrow, scattered showers and thunderstorms turn to sunshine by the afternoon in the mid-70s before the trailing front brings in some additional downpours and thunderstorms. And then, as we head into Saturday night, things cool down, 60s down to the 50s. Your Sunday is going to be cool, damp, cloudy, on and off rain, a bit of a difference compared to Saturday. Unfortunately, this weekend's not really favoring entirely dry weather, but still quite the difference in a weather pattern. It's near 80 today, 75 tomorrow, and then following that, we enter a cooler pattern, 50s by Sunday, and then remaining in the 50s and 60s for the near future. Good news is, though, we have some sunshine moving in for Monday and Tuesday of next week. Gary?
Eric, thanks. One person keeping an eye on
those stories in just a minute, but we are following breaking news out of St. Louis, Missouri. Severe storm damage from what is now confirmed as a tornado. Strength unknown, but powerful enough to collapse a building and cause a lot of damage to the hospital and the infrastructure there. Populated area, but we haven't heard if anyone was hurt. And when we're looking at a lot of this video, flashbacks to Rome and bringing Bill in on this conversation. So this system that St. Louis is dealing with, this is the one that's kind of moving our way.
Yeah, it's all part of the same cold front. I mean, the risk for severe weather here is lower compared to out there, but it's just amazing how fast information travels. I mean, this literally happened half an hour ago. And we were able to confirm it in real time, and now they're just getting the damage. Things are moving so quickly. It is good in one way because it helps us provide information when these things are happening in real time. Hopefully this is not going to be the case tomorrow, but we are tracking a strong weather system. A few strong storms are possible in the afternoon. It's mostly wind, and particularly straight line wind. That is going to be the most likely thing that can happen. We've got tomorrow as a Storm Tracker 2 alert day. We are tracking a few isolated storms this evening. So far, things haven't really materialized, but I'm keeping an eye on areas south and west of Utica, specifically the southern valleys. I think a few pop-up storms are still possible this evening, although we haven't seen very much activity just yet. 82 degrees, it's warm, it's humid. It's going to stay that way this evening. We'll be in the 70s. Warm weather on Saturday before a strong cold front knocks us down temperature-wise. I've got to look at the forecast coming up. Kristen, back to you.
Bill, thank you. More than a year after winning.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. A very warm day. Temperatures made it into the low 80s with higher levels of humidity. Let's take a live look outside. Things are looking pretty quiet. This is a live look in downtown Utica, a temperature of 82 degrees. The clouds have started to billow up, and we are keeping an eye on things. Right now, we're not seeing a whole lot of activity, but I think that's going to change. Again, this is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. What I think is going to happen is that we'll have a couple of pop-up storms, particularly across the southern valleys. This is the area that I'm watching. We're starting to notice the development of the cloud cover on the satellite image, and we're starting to see a few isolated showers popping up. The environment does favor some thunderstorm development. I think at this point it's going to be an isolated storm or two. This is not something that's going to be widespread or anything really strong, but we're going to keep an eye on this over the next couple of hours. Again, for those of you in and north of the Mohawk Valley, I think for most of us it's going to be a lovely evening and a warm, very summer-like evening. Tomorrow, it's going to be a different day. There's going to be a cold front that rolls in. I think there's going to be widespread storms in the afternoon and early evening between about 3 to 6 p.m. Gusty winds, locally heavy rain, the primary concerns. And the risk is slightly higher east of Utica compared to west, with the cold front arriving a little bit later in the day. A reminder, if you are going to be out and about tomorrow and you want a way to get weather alerts, an easy way to do that is to download our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. Tomorrow's going to be the warmest day of the weekend. Sunday will be much cooler, scattered showers, temperatures in the upper 50s. A reminder that it's too soon to plant, at least anything sensitive to frost. We're watching Monday night for the possibility of temperatures in the upper 30s across central New York. And some spots could get close to frost. It's too early to say exactly how widespread this is, but just a reminder, don't plant anything that's sensitive to frost just yet. We've got to get through next week to be sure. So we look at the bigger picture. We're watching this cold front moving in from the west. Again, all the damaging weather in St. Louis is to the south of this front, so that's going to be passing to our south. But again, we're going to be tracking some storms here tomorrow. Small chance of a pop-up storm in the morning, a better chance in the afternoon. Temperatures will climb into the mid-70s, some locally heavy rain. Things quiet down Saturday night. We'll get a chance to dry out temporarily. And then on Sunday, on and off rain showers, a cool, breezy day with temperatures only in the 50s. Mostly cloudy tonight, a low of 62. Tomorrow, thunderstorms expected in the afternoon, a high of 75. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. It's much cooler here as we head into early next week. Temperatures only in the 50s, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Notice the overnight lows. Specifically Monday night, 39, but even Sunday night and Tuesday night, we're down into the low 40s. So to keep an eye on those nights too. A cold rain the middle of next week, temperatures in the 50s.
I just fired up the air conditioner.
So a lot of people did. I turned mine on in the car.
I haven't done that yet. And I consciously thought about it. I'm like, not going to do it. I don't know why. I don't know.
Get in the mood.
I don't get an award or anything.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Okay.
Thank you, Bill. Well, severe thunderstorms with the potential to unleash long-lasting, powerful tornado hitting much of the eastern U.S. They've got it in the sights.
Right, St. Louis hit by a tornado. That's now confirmed. Now, that's the same system that walloped Wisconsin yesterday with a wave of twisters and power outages. Laura Aguirre spoke with survivors.
It's really like a miracle.
A miracle indeed that there were no deaths reported or more serious injuries when nearly a dozen tornadoes tore across parts of Wisconsin Thursday.
The light started flickering and the power cut out.
I can see it swirling around, and then that's when I run inside and get in the basement.
When we looked outside the window, all we saw was just green.
Residents today are assessing the widespread damage left in the storm's aftermath across small towns like Mayville and Juneau in Dodge County, where the sheriff says at least one person was hospitalized with injuries there. And a tornado that came toward Juneau was hidden by rain.
This was a scary sight.
We're a pretty small town, and I'm really concerned if we have the funds to rebuild this. Our power's probably going to be out for several days.
Nearly 400,000 homes and businesses were left without power across multiple Midwest states at one point Friday morning, according to PowerOutage.us. Forecasters predict dangerous storms could fire up in parts of Missouri, Arkansas, and Illinois this afternoon and expand rapidly in scope as they push east, bringing with them possible tornadoes, damaging wind gusts stronger than 75 miles an hour, and large hail. Saturday could see these same conditions heading into the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic before moving out to sea. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Coming up, a La Crosse hazing case involving Syracuse weather.
Yeah, we're going to be watching the weekend closely, especially Saturday afternoon as a cold front arrives. We could have a couple of stronger storms involved, and we'll have more on that in just a second. Take a look at this beautiful sunset along the Memorial Parkway by Kelsang. Gorgeous shot that was taken yesterday. Let's talk about the risk for storms tomorrow. We're watching the potential of strong winds and locally heavy rain. Those are the most likely things that could happen with storms. The timing is 3 to 6 p.m. And again, we're expecting this to go along a cold front, which is going to knock our temperatures down considerably. We're in the mid-70s tomorrow, and then only into the 50s here Sunday and beyond. Cooler than average stretch of weather is expected to continue. So far, it's been a relatively quiet evening. We're keeping an eye on the radar. Could see an isolated shower or maybe rumble of thunder over the next couple of hours, specifically south of the Mohawk Valley. I think that's the spot to watch. But again, for most of us, the weather looks great this evening. Temperatures will be warm in the 70s. If you're taking the dog out for a walk, should be a much more comfortable evening compared to afternoon. Tonight's featured dog is Cooper. This is brought to you by Nissan. Back over to you.
All right, Cooper's living the life there.
No kidding.
It's
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Happy Friday. We are getting you ready for the weekend. This evening, the weather looks warm, and there is an isolated chance of a thunderstorm. One particular spot I'm watching is the southern valleys. Oneonta, this is a live look, 75 degrees, pretty quiet for now. But I am tracking a couple of storms that are starting to develop. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. In the Mohawk Valley and North Country, things are looking pretty quiet this evening, but to the south, this area of activity, these are storms that just...
This is a weekly test of the Emergency Alert System. This station is testing equipment that can quickly warn you in the event of an emergency. This concludes this test of the Emergency Alert System.
Just keep an eye on the weather, specifically Saturday and Sunday. We've got a few thunderstorms rolling in. Sunday looks to be close to a washout, too, weather-wise. Tracking a big change in temperature. We're in the mid-70s Saturday. A cold front arrives that produces showers and storms. A few of those could be on the stronger side. On Sunday, it is much cooler, a bit of a breeze, too, with temperatures in the mid-50s. In addition to that, next week, I want to highlight Monday night. We're looking at some of the early data, and it suggests that there could be a frost in some of the colder spots of central New York. Again, it's several days out, but I just want to highlight this in case you were thinking about planting frost-sensitive plants. You don't want to do that this weekend. I would advise waiting another week to get through this cold spell, and then we should be free and clear to plant anything sensitive to frost. But again, I think it's too early to do that this weekend. Even though it's been so warm and it's feeling like summer, it can change, and it is expected to change as we head into next week. Whitesboro, 78 degrees. Bob and Clinton, 84. Norway, 80. Jeff and Mohawk, 82. Westford with 76. We're tracking a cold front that moves in from the west. It's producing very strong to severe weather in St. Louis. That piece is going to end up going to our south. We're watching the cold front to the west. That'll be arriving tomorrow. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight. Overnight lows dropping down into the upper 50s. We could see an early morning shower or rumble of thunder, but I think the best chance of any storms, 3 to 6 p.m. Saturday. Gusty winds, locally heavy rain possible. This heads to the east. And on Sunday, clouds and showers spill in from the north. Temperatures only in the 50s. Mostly cloudy tonight, low of 62, a very warm night. Tomorrow, thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon, a high of 75. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. It's cool heading into next week. We're only in the 50s Monday and Tuesday, into the upper 30s Monday night. Widespread rain is expected, looking ahead to Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We'll be right back.
News with Kristen Copeland and Jason Pallas.
A day of sunshine and warmth will end with showers and storms. They're just now moving in.
And Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis tracking it all. Tell us what to expect tonight. Bill.
Yes, we are tracking a few isolated thunderstorms, primarily south of the Mohawk Valley. Taking a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, we're seeing some showers popping up, even just a lightning strike just being detected here. This is going to be generally passing across the southern valleys, Route 20 and point south over the next couple of hours. The Mohawk Valley, the North Country, you're in the clear for now. But again, we are going to keep an eye on the radar. We've got Saturday as a Storm Tracker 2 alert day. We're expecting widespread storms in the afternoon. Some of these could produce locally heavy rain and gusty winds. So again, we'll be following that here as we start the weekend. It's been a very warm day. We're 81 degrees. It's been humid. Feels like a summer afternoon. It's going to feel like a summer evening here in central New York. Again, a few isolated storms, primarily south of the Mohawk Valley. Temperatures in the 70s. They've got to look at the weekend forecast coming up. Kristen, back to you.
All right, Bill, thank you. More than a year.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're keeping an eye on the radar. We're seeing a few clouds billowing up, especially south of the Mohawk Valley. This is a live look at Oneonta. This is one spot we're going to be watching this evening. Most of us are going to be dry. Most of us are going to have a lovely summer evening. But south of the Mohawk Valley, there are a couple of showers and a few rumbles of thunder that are starting to pop up, specifically Shenango and Madison County. These are moving east, and these are not expected to turn strong, but there could be enough to cause some locally heavy downpours and some thunder and lightning. And again, these are going to move east over the next 1 to 2 hours, generally impacting Madison, Otsego, and Shenango counties. And these are expected to stay south of the Mohawk Valley, but again, we're going to keep an eye on that in case anything changes. If you're going to be doing any gardening over the next couple of days, just a reminder, don't plant anything sensitive to frost, because we might have a frost, or at least temperatures in the 30s here heading into Monday night. More on that in just a second. Saturday, showers, thunderstorms, 75 degrees. Sunday, much cooler, a temperature of 57, scattered showers. We are going to be keeping an eye on Saturday afternoon. Again, some of those storms could be on the stronger side, capable of producing some gusty winds and locally heavy rain. As we move into next week, again, we're highlighting Monday night. Temperatures are expected to drop into the 30s. There could be some patchy frost in some of the colder pockets in our area, but it's several days away, and it's something we'll be watching here as we get closer. Clinton, 84 degrees. Whitesboro, 78. Barneveld, 75. Norway, 80 degrees. Erican Inlet, 77. Westford with 76. We're tracking a cold front approaching from the west. This is expected to produce widespread storms, producing some pretty serious weather today. Some violent tornado moving through just north of St. Louis earlier this afternoon. That piece is going to stay to our south, but again, that cold front will be arriving here as we head into late Saturday. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Overnight lows drop into the low 60s. Tomorrow, a brief shower is possible in the morning. A better chance for showers and storms in the afternoon. 3 to 6 p.m. is when most of these roll through. Gusty winds, locally heavy rain possible. Again, we've got a Storm Tracker 2 alert day for this. Cold front heads to the east. We'll get a chance to dry out tomorrow night. Cloudy skies, showers roll in for Sunday. Much cooler day, breezy too, with high temperatures in the 50s. Mostly cloudy tonight. Low of 62. Thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. 75 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Showers on Sunday, 57. Cooler Monday and Tuesday. Sunshine, temperatures in the 50s. Again, down into the upper 30s Monday night. Next weather system, a slow mover. Clouds, showers expected Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, with high temperatures in the 50s. And just kind of peeking ahead to Memorial Day weekend, it does look like we're going to be dealing with some of the lingering effects of these showers, at least into Saturday. Hopefully things start to clear out as we head into Sunday and Monday.
Bill, thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Still to come on
News with Jason Pallas.
And we will get to those stories in just a bit, but we have some breaking news as well. I want to check in first with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. An alert day for Saturday. Why?
Thunderstorms in the afternoon. A couple of these could be on the stronger side. I know a lot of people will be out and about enjoying a nice day before these storms arrive. So just a heads up that some of these storms could pack a little bit of a punch. We're talking about gusty winds and locally heavy rain. Those are the big concerns. Been tracking some showers out there this evening, even a few downpours taking place in Otsego County tonight. Those are moving out to the east. Our current temperature is 66 degrees, mostly clear. We actually have a faint glow of the northern lights. If you have a camera in night mode and you have clear skies to the north, check it out. I just came back from outdoors and was able to see that. Temperatures tomorrow in the 70s. We're tracking some scattered storms later in the day and a big cool down as we head into next week with temperatures in the 50s. A passing shower, otherwise mostly clear tonight, low temperature of 62. We've got to look at the weekend forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight, officials say at least 4 people were killed when St. Louis, Missouri. The severe weather caused serious damage to buildings and widespread power outages. Firefighters were able to free a man who was trapped in his collapsed home after over an hour of digging to get to him. Now, several other buildings experienced heavy damage. The St. Louis Children's Hospital Emergency Department had 10 patients, 1 in critical condition. About 30,000 buildings in the city of St. Louis were without power. And we're following breaking news into the news.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look at downtown Utica. A temperature of 66 degrees. All is quiet across most of central New York. However, we are tracking a thunderstorm out in Oneonta. In fact, we can even see flashes of lightning from that, even from our vantage point on Smith Hill. A couple of flashes to the south. This is a non-severe thunderstorm, but it is producing thunder, lightning, and some locally heavy rain as it continues to move to the east. And we will be seeing and tracking more storms as we head into tomorrow. Our severe weather risk is looking at some gusty winds, some locally heavy rain, and the greatest threat looks to be from Utica and points east. So we've got a Storm Tracker 2 alert day for that. Tonight, if you happen to have clear skies to the north and you have a camera that can take night photos, we have the northern lights out. This was taken moments ago from Smith Hill, but anywhere to the north that you have clear skies, you can be able to see this, or at least you won't be able to see this with the naked eye. It's very, very, very faint. But if you have the right camera equipment or some of the newer iPhones and smartphones have the ability to take night mode pictures, you might be able to catch a faint glow to the north. There's what's called a substorm, a weaker version of the northern lights taking place tonight. With the weather turning active tomorrow, it's good to have the weather at your fingertips. An easy way to do that is to download our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. You'll get instant alerts should anything happen. A few strong storms are possible tomorrow, 75 for the high. Cooler on Sunday, showers 57. Just a reminder, too early to plant, at least anything sensitive to frost. We might have a frost Monday night. It looks pretty chilly here heading into the middle of next week. As we look at the bigger picture, we've got a cold front moving in from the west. This is the same system that produced severe weather in St. Louis. This is going to be moving to the east, and again, likely producing some thunderstorms tomorrow. Tonight, clear skies give way to some clouds. Some showers are possible first thing tomorrow morning. Temperatures start out in the 60s. Breaks of sunshine, more rounds of rain in the afternoon, rumbles of thunder. Temperatures climb into the mid-70s. Tomorrow night, cloudy skies. We do dry out a little bit. And then widespread rain is expected heading into Sunday, cooler and breezy with highs in the 50s. Mostly cloudy tonight, low of 62. Tomorrow, thunderstorms in the afternoon, 75 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Showers on Sunday, 57. Monday, Tuesday. Why, thank you, Jason.
You're welcome. Just call me Monday. The chairman of the board.
Sunshine Monday and Tuesday, temperatures in the 50s. Chilly Monday night. Rain returns Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Jason moved my chair into place.
I was bringing the chiefest chair.
I appreciate it.
Deserve a chair. Got a good one now.
Yeah, it's just really solid.
It's done. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill. Coming up next, Utica Police.
News with Jason Palace.
And we'll get to those stories and some breaking news in just a minute. First, though, we want to check in with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis because tomorrow is an alert day. Tell us why.
Storms in the afternoon, a couple of them could be on the stronger side. Unlike today where the storms are pretty isolated, I think these are going to be widespread. So you're going to be outdoors tomorrow, something to keep in mind. Let's take a look at the radar this evening. We've been tracking a couple of thunderstorms across the southern valleys. They are exiting Otsego County, but you might see some flashes of lightning with this. We've been able to see that from Smith Hill, so they are making quite a distance here. The light is traveling quite a distance. We're tracking those storms. They're going to continue to move out of the county. We'll get a chance to dry out tonight. Clear skies. If you have a good view to the north and you have a camera in night mode, you might be able to capture the northern lights. We saw them on Smith Hill. It's just a faint glow. It's not a big show, but might be able to see that tonight. It's worth checking out. Again, if you have a camera in night mode, we were not able to see it with the naked eye. Temperatures will be in the mid-70s tomorrow, a warm day, but that's not going to last. Much cooler weather to follow. A cold front rolls through. We're into the 50s beginning Sunday. Showers come to an end tonight, low temperature of 62. Tracking more thunderstorms tomorrow. Look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight, officials say at least 4 people were killed when 2 tornadoes hit St. Louis, Missouri. Yes, the city. Severe weather caused serious damage to buildings and widespread power outages. Firefighters were able to free a man who was trapped in his collapsed home after over an hour of digging. Several other buildings experienced heavy damage. St. Louis Children's Hospital Emergency Department had 10 patients, 1 critical, and there are about 30,000 buildings in the city without power. We're following.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look at downtown Utica. Temperature of 64 degrees. It is a very mild night. We've been tracking a couple of showers and thunderstorms. Even some flashes of lightning to the south and east can be seen from our vantage point here on Smith Hill. So traveling quite a ways for that. But again, these storms are moving out of our area. We'll get a chance to dry out heading into tonight. We've been able to spot the northern lights tonight. This was taken on Smith Hill around 10:30 this evening, just this faint glow to the north. Not the only ones that were able to do that. This one was in Taberg from Melissa. You can still see them. They're still outside. Just checked right between the commercial breaks here. You have to have a camera that could take night photos. It's very, very hard to see with the naked eye. It's just an extremely faint glow. A camera in night mode will be able to capture some of this color. It's a faded green to the north. If you have clear skies, again, you'll be able to see that for at least the next hour or so. The conditions are expected to wane, so I don't think the lights will be out all night, but you never know. Risk for severe weather is here for Saturday. The weather does turn unsettled. Clouds return. Showers, thunderstorms arrive 3 to 6 p.m. Gusty winds, locally heavy rain. Those are the primary concerns, and the risk is a little bit higher east of Utica compared to west. Have a way to get weather information tomorrow. An easy way to do that on your phone is to download our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. You can get weather warnings, and you'll have access to the Doppler radar, along with notifications if heavy rain or lightning is close to you. Storms expected tomorrow, a high of 75, much cooler Sunday, showers, temperatures in the mid-50s. We've got a cold front that will be moving in. Don't plant anything sensitive to frost just yet. We have the chance of frost Monday night, some of the outlying spots. Some chilly weather is in our future. Bigger picture shows a cold front sweeping in from the west. This will be here tomorrow. Tonight, mostly clear skies. Some clouds will develop late. Could see a passing shower early tomorrow morning, but the better chance for storms will be in the afternoon and early evening. Temperatures climb into the mid-70s. Showers come to an end tomorrow night. We'll start out Sunday morning dry. Showers will be developing to the north as we head throughout Sunday afternoon, breezy and chilly with high temperatures in the 50s. Mostly cloudy tonight, low of 62. Tomorrow, thunderstorms, high of 75. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Much cooler weather here for the rest of next week. Temperatures will be in the 50s all week long. We're into the 30s Monday night. Some sunshine Monday and Tuesday, and then a cold rain Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
So you're saying the ideal day to mow would be Tuesday, because it might dry out by then, and you better hurry.
Or early tomorrow if you can beat the storms.
All right, we'll be watching for it. Thank you, Bill. Coming up next, the